Alright, welcome to Hypnotica Flow 1 course. This course is designed to teach you the basics of the core movements of hoop dance. So let's go ahead and get started with our warm-up. A couple pointers before we begin. Make sure you stay hydrated. If you're feeling thirsty at all, grab a drink. Secondly, if you do a move and it feels uncomfortable or it hurts, you can go ahead and stop, and you can either work on a move we've done previously or just wait until we jump into the next one. And also remember to be gentle with yourself. A lot of these moves take patience and they take practice. So be gentle and enjoy the process.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and step into your hoop. We're going to start with our warm-up. So with your hands on the inside of your hoop, pushing out, we're going to do a breathing lift where we bring the hoop up and bring it back down. So let's go ahead and take a deep inhale as we lift the hoop up to the sky. Exhale, bringing the hoop back down onto our body. Inhale. Exhale, bringing down. And one more time, bringing the hoop up. And exhale, bringing the hoop back down. We're going to move. Now I want you to take the hoop and rest it on the back of your lower back. And your arms are forming like a W. We're doing our side stretch here, so make sure your hips are over your ankles. So let's stretch to the left. And going to the other side. Again, stretching back. Feeling that nice stretch in the side. Let's do it one more time to the other side. And if you want a deeper stretch, you can let go of that arm. And last time. Alright. Now go ahead and put your hoop on the floor. And we're going to do, we're going to do the cat-cow. So I want you to put your hands on your thighs, and you're going to roll, arch your back up, bringing your shoulders down. And inhale as you come back up, pulling your shoulders back, lifting your chest and your head. Coming back down. Inhaling. And last one. Getting a nice stretch. Alright. Now let's take one step outside your hoop. So your feet are fairly far apart. And you're going to bend your knees out to the side to stretch your hips, and make sure your knees are not going past your ankles. You're going to lean your left shoulder in, or either one, and stretch the other one. Switching shoulders. And again. Alright, coming back up. Go ahead and bend at your knees, pick your hoop up, and we're going to do some twists. So just twisting to the side. Seeing if you can look all the way behind you. Bring your hoop up to your upper back. Lower the hoop down to your lower back and twist. And one more time, back up to your upper back. And back down. Now let's go ahead and move into some hip rolls. So I want you to try and keep your upper body isolated and just move your hips. So swinging your hips forward, to the side, back, and and to the other side. Forward, side, back, to the other side. And now we're going to bring all these movements together. Going around, trying to keep that upper body still, just the movement in the hips. Make sure your knees are slightly bent. And we're going to go do it on the other side. So forward, now going to the other side, back, and to the side, forward, back, side, the other side. And now bringing these movements all together, keeping that upper body as isolated as possible. All right, and let's try that with, now let's move this movement up to our chest. So, moving your chest, this time you're going to keep your hips isolated and try to keep it just in your upper body as much as you can. So, moving your chest forward, to the side, back, the other side, and this time try to keep your hips isolated. There you go. And now bringing all those movements together. And let's go the other direction. So front, other side, back, the side, forward, side, back, side, and bringing those movements all together. There you go. And let's try and speed that circle up a little bit. See how fast you can make those movements. Might have to make your circles smaller. Do it to the other side. Making small, quick circles. All right. And now let's go ahead and move into our first move, which is called waist hooping. This is the basic movement in hoop dance. And we're going to be learning it in forward stance, which is where you have one foot forward. So let me show you how this move looks. All right, that is basic forward stance. So to break this down, we're gonna be doing a forward and backward movement. Make sure your knees are slightly bent. And we're going to be using what are called power points, and this is where we use that forward-backward motion. We're going to have one power point on the side where the foot is forward, and you're going to have a power point just above your hip bone. These power points are the points you're pushing into to keep that hoop up. You're also going to have another power point on the back just opposite that front power point. So, and these are the points you're going to be pushing into. Before we start really moving into that, I want you to just try a quick drill. Just spin your hoop and let it fall without pushing into those points. And as you notice, the hoop has a rhythm of its own. And so that's why we're using these power points, is to tap into that rhythm so we can learn to hold that hoop up. So let's go ahead and practice that rocking into the power point. So rocking forward and back, forward and back. Make sure you keep your pelvis tucked in. Let's try and speed it up. So forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. And speed it up even a little bit more, forward, back. And see if you can go a little bit faster. And if you can move faster, go faster. All right. Let's go ahead and give this a shot. I want you to go ahead and give your hoop a nice big spin and let it go around once and then quickly start pushing into those power points with that rocking motion. And I want you to try and go for at least 2 rotations. If you can go for more, that's great. So, great job. And once you get 2 or 3, you can up it a little bit more. Try to shoot for a few more. Okay. you're feeling comfortable, you can start moving around a little bit, do a little bit of weight shifting forward. If you can, shift your weight forward onto your front foot, shifting onto your back foot. Even while you're pushing into those power points, shifting forward and back. And then when you add the hoop, start putting a little bit more weight on the forward foot, putting a little more weight on the back foot. You're doing good. All right. Let's go ahead and move into side stance. This is where we have our feet parallel and where our feet are going to be directly under our hip bones. You want your knees to also be slightly bent when you're doing this. And let me show you. All right, this is side stance. And our power points now are, instead of being above whichever foot is forward, since neither of our feet are forward, they're going to be on the sides above our hip bone. So one's on one side, the other's on the other. So when the hip rolls over those power points, we're pushing into the hoop. Yeah! Awesome. So let's try that. Speed it up a little bit. And if you can speed it up more. This one you might have to use some more speed since we have a little more limited range of motion. And if you can speed it up. All right. Yes, burning lots of calories. All right, let's go ahead and add the hoop. Again, giving it a big push, letting it go around for one rotation, and then quickly starting to push into those power points. Let's shoot for at least 2 rotations. All right. You got this one down.
At least I got more than
Woohoo!
2 or 3 or 4 or 5.
Yeah, you're doing really good. And let's go ahead and add some more movements to this one. We can do stepping side to side when we're in side stance. So when we step, what we're going to be doing is as soon as we push into that side power point, we are pushing to the side. So if we are stepping to this side, as soon as we step into that power point, we take that step. Okay? Pushing, pushing. There you go. And you can do it as slow as you need to or as fast as you want. There you go. So, when you do when you push into that power point to the side, quickly lift your foot up and step back down. There you go. There you go. And if you need to take a minute in between steps, that's okay. Good. And as soon as you step, you want to make sure you quickly get back into that movement of pushing into those power points. Awesome. That's really good. Let's go ahead and move into spinning. So you're starting to pick up on the stepping, which is really good. You got forward stance, side stance. Now we're going to do a 360-degree spin. So that's where we actually start in forward stance. So 1 foot forward, knees slightly bent, pelvis tucked in. And this is what our 360-degree spin looks like. Except it's okay if you wobble a little bit. And so the way we do this is when we're going to be moving in the same direction our hoop is going. And as we do that, it might seem like we don't have to really push into our power points as we spin. But since in proportion to the speed the hoop is going, it's actually going a little slower. We're kind of moving with it. So when you do the spin, it's really, you don't have to worry about pushing into power points until you come back into your stance. So with your lead foot, the direction your hoop is going to be spinning. So determine which direction you want to push your hoop to spin in. And then you're going to start doing your forward, backward. And then, when you're feeling ready, push with your back foot and do a circle. Woohoo! All the way around.
Not quite.
That was pretty close. And when you come back to center, yeah, that was good. If you want to actually do it where you do a 180-degree turn first, that's perfectly fine. But every time you stop, yeah, remember to start pushing into those power points. Sorry. So that was really good. I also want to do catching and reversing, which is where we switch the direction our hoop is going. So if our hoop is going to the right, you're going to catch and reverse. And the way we do this is I want you to notice that there's a front window. The front window is when there's this space where the hoop is in front and the hoop is actually rolling over your back. This is called your front window. You also have a back window when the hoop is rolling over your belly and you have an empty space. There's no hoop there. This is your back window. So the hoop rolls in front, front window. The hoop is rolling over your belly and is in the back, is now your back window when there's the empty space. So just notice these. You can even point to your front window when it comes around if you want. Good. Yeah, that's really good. Now for catching and reversing, what we're going to do is when that front window starts to close and this empty space is beginning, you're going to dip your hand down into that empty space when it's going towards the back, and you're going to move your torso and your arms as the hoop rolls into your arm, and you'll be catching it. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's go ahead and try that. So be watching for that front window, and as soon as you see that front window starting to close, dip your hand down. Yes, that's pretty good. Except you caught it right inside, so that was good. But you want to catch it when the hoop is actually, so when this window is closing and your empty space is opening up, then you want to dip your hand down. Does that make sense?
Oh, I'm not dipping it in that window?
Yes. That's actually another move. So that was really good, though, that you could tell.
So I catch it when it's closed?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Good. That's really good. And then, after you've caught it, you're going to give it a nice big push into the other direction. There you go. That's pretty close. So let's try that one more time. Waiting for that empty space. As soon as you see that empty space, nice, you got it, and you got it in the other direction. Good. That's good. Good job. Let's go ahead and move on to our next move. We're going to go ahead and move into what's called passing. Passing is an off-the-body move, so it means it's out here instead of on our body. And for passing, this is the movement. Just kidding, let me show you a little better. Okay. And it might seem pretty basic, but there's a lot of fun variations you actually want them to be as close as possible so you have a little bit more movement. Control. There we go. Control over your hoop. And then you'll bring the hoop around whichever direction. Yes. And then catch it in the back. And you want your palms to be facing down. And then when you bring it back around in the other hand, you'll grip it again the same way. So, there you go. Yeah, you're doing good. You're doing great. All right. Let's go ahead and move into halos. Halos are fun. They're a great arm workout. Yeah. All right. So the way we do halo is I'm sorry, I showed you how I shouldn't show you. So, I want you to start off with your hand down, and this is going to be your first hand. So I haven't told you about that, but your first hand is the hand opposite your natural direction. So whatever direction you're going to be going, it's the opposite. So if you're going to the right, hold it with your left hand. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay. So then start spinning. Hand out. Start bringing your hand up. As soon as your hand gets to, it's ready to move up and overhead, which is about your temple level, top of your head level, you're going to let the hoop roll around your hand and let your hand roll to the inside of your hoop, and then you're going to keep swinging your hand around. And on your palm, yes, and the reason we do that first thing is to really give us a momentum. And the movement that we're doing here is we're actually using power points on our hand. We have one power point on the front of our palm and one on the back of our palm. And so we'll be pushing forward and pushing back when it rolls over the back of our hand. And one thing I like to do for the halo is every revolution it comes around to the front of the palm, I'd like to grip it just for a brief second to help keep it on my hand. Also, you don't want the hoop to go below your thumb. If you let it go below your thumb, it'll quickly slide down your arm. So, yeah, you'll want to, so it's good to grip it and make sure it stays above your thumb. And sometimes the hoop will fly out of your hand. It happens. Don't worry if that happens. So let's go ahead and try that. Doing your circles, bringing the hoop around, bring it up, and let it roll. Your hand roll onto the inside. There you go. That's really good. Pushing forward, gripping if you feel it for that second. Good. And if you're feeling a little more courageous, you can look at that hoop. Yeah, you can try it in the other hand as well. And this time you'll go in the opposite direction. So, bringing that hoop up, same thing, bringing your hand to the inside, letting it go around. Good. All right, if it's too hard to do it in the opposite hand, you can stick to that first hand for a little bit.
A little bit of practice.
Yeah. Another way I like to do it, so whichever hand is comfortable, if it feels comfortable to use that hand, go ahead. And bringing it up. There you go. And if you want, you can dip your hand, other hand, just really quickly up there. That's just something fun. You can practice with it. But let's go ahead and actually move on to another move. Let's take our hoop back onto our body. And I want to work on what's called hip hooping. This is where we hoop on our actual hips. So let me show you this move. Oops. This is hip hooping. So it's a little lower than my waist. And it is a little bit different movement since now we have 3 power points. We have one. Okay, if you locate, there's a nice little crease. If you bend over, there's a little crease there. And that's where you're going to have 2 power points in the front, just over each leg in that crease. And then you're going to have another one just on your tailbone. Yeah, just below. And so these are your 3 power points. So let's practice a motion. The motion is, so it's going to be pushing into those 3 power points. Yes. And then moving those together, this is where we really isolate the upper body, and you definitely want to keep your knees nice and bent to get that movement there. Good. And then speed that up. Definitely good workout. And let's do it to the other side. So your power point 3. And then taking that in little circles. And doing it a little bit faster. All right. You think you're ready to try it now?
What do you think?
Okay, so this one you're actually going to start the hoop a little lower. You're going to start it on your hips. And as soon as it makes that first rotation, or right after that first rotation, immediately start those quick little circles. So ready? And give it a nice push. And if it, oh, there you go, you kept it for a minute. If it pops back up to your waist, try to isolate the upper body a little bit more. So like we were doing just in that little practice, it might take a little practice to get used to just that one lower body movement. Yeah. And if it does pop up to your waist, if it's popping up to your waist, immediately go into work on not pushing into the forward and back movement, but actually work on pushing into, instead of doing that power points up here to keep it up here, work on just moving the lower body while it's, and that might feel weird to do that. There you go. All right. So, that was good.
But my nickels there.
I haven't learned a way to get it up from there yet, besides picking it up. But it burns a lot of calories, so it's good. So now let's do one last move. We're going to do what's called a basic swoop. This is a move to get our hoop from off the body to on the body. And the way this works, so we'll start in your first hand, which again is the hand opposite the direction you're turning. So, and that is a basic swoop. All right, so now I'll explain it to you. So, having the hoop in your first hand, you're going to start turning, bringing your arm up. As soon as it gets to about your temple level, you're going to turn your hand so the hoop is allowed to roll over your body. Yeah, like that, except you'll have a lot more momentum because you'll have speed. And as soon as you feel it roll onto your body, you're going to push with that hand down and out. So it immediately tempo, let it roll over, and then give it that nice big push. There you go.
Fun.
That was beautiful.
Listen, all the way down. Do that again.
All right. That's great. Bring it up. Letting it roll around.
Try it again.
Good job. That was beautiful. All right.
Keep it on me.
All right. So let's go ahead and we're going to do a sequence. So in hoop dance, we like to do a lot of moves together. So you're always dancing, you're always trying different things. So this one, we're just going to be doing a sequence of moves together. So we feel more like we're dancing. So, and it's going to be a little routine, but the more you practice these moves, the more you'll be able to do it. So we're going to start in basic passing, and that's where you start palms hands palm down. And we start with the hoop going around. And and as soon as we catch it in the direction, the hoop in our first hand, opposite direction it's going, we're going to start to move around so we can bring it into a basic swoop, bringing it up onto the body. And then as soon as you've got it on your waist, we're going to waist hoop for a minute or two, go into lead foot, into forward stance, lead foot forward, and quickly do a 360-degree spin. So, good. And make sure you go, for your 360-degree spin, you go in the direction your hoop is going. So if your hoop is going left, make sure your left foot is forward. If you're going to the right, make sure your right foot is forward. So, do you want me to go over that sequence with you? Do you want to? Okay.
Can we go over it again?
Yeah. So, from passing, we'll go around 3 times, and then you're going to catch it in your first hand, except instead of passing it to your other hand, start turning, bringing it up, and onto your body, giving a nice big push to go around your waist and quickly go into your power points. Good, good. And then go put your lead foot forward, do your 360-degree spin. Woo! Fun! and then you can stop your move. And then you've completed. So, you think you're ready to do it? Yay! Okay. So, passing. I'll wait for you. Passing. Catch and start spinning. Wait for you. Just go into swoop. Get a nice big push. It goes into your waist. Quickly go into those power points. Put your lead foot forward. And do your spin. And catch your hoop.
That took me a few tries.
Alright, that was good. Do you feel up to trying it one more time?
Yeah.
Okay, last time. So, let's make it a good one. Passing. And grab it and start spinning. Bringing it up. Give it a nice big push onto your waist. Oh, wait. Good, and lead foot forward. And give it a spin. You do it. All right, we'll stop there. That was good.
Fun.
All right, let's go ahead and move into our warm-up. So, for our warm-up, go ahead and take the hoop. We're actually going to put it on the back. We're going to rest it on our hamstrings. And you're going to just lean back, letting your chest open up, allowing your arms to stretch back. And then bring the hoop up and over your head. Yes. Over your head. Come down. Come back up. Taking a nice deep breath. Again, you're going to bring your hoop down and let it rest on your hamstrings. Opening up. And bring the hoop again back up and over. Touching till your hoop touches the floor. Let your head go and just shake it out. And coming back up. And we're going to stretch to the side, so now your hoop is resting to on your lower back. And stretching to one side. And let your lower arm hang there for a minute for a deeper stretch in the side. Coming back up, going to the other side. And let's do that one more time to each side. Remembering to breathe. Coming back up. And I want you to now rest your hoop on the back of your neck. And you're going to fold forward, lifting that hoop up. Feeling a nice stretch in the back of your legs. Coming back up. And I want you to go ahead and put your hoop on the floor. And we're going to do a quad stretch. If you need to hold on to something for balance, that's okay. You can hold on to a wall or a chair or something.
I will.
Awesome. Just hold that, stretch your quads a little bit. Now bring your foot forward. And you're going to hold your foot up. If you need support, you can hold the other hand up. Yes. Your knee, you can still use support if you need it. Alright, letting it down. Now let's do that to the other foot. Getting a nice stretch in your quads. Remembering to breathe into it. Now let's switch our foot forward to get a nice stretch to our hip. The more you practice it or do it, the more balance you'll gain.
I need it.
Alright. And let's go ahead and into our sumo stretch. So take a wide stance, bending your knees, making sure your knees are over your ankles. And now stretching your shoulder forward. And switching sides. And switch shoulders. Feeling a nice stretch. And last time. All right. Okay, you did a great job. And just remember that hula hoop dance is all about having fun, enjoying yourself during the process. And there are some things that we'll need to practice, but you've done really good, and the more you practice, the better you're going to get. So, thank you.